Hi students, I'm Dr. Gallego, your psychology professor, as you probably know by now. I wanted to show you something on our website that's extremely important for you preparing for the test. So I'm going to pan over here to the computer. I'm on the modules page. So from our home page, I went up down here to modules, and I'm going to show you module 1, which is already open. This second item, preparing for the Unit 1 test, is extremely important. This is how you should prepare for the unit test. In every module, the second item is one of these list of learning objectives. When you click on that, you're able to download this down here, and what opens up is a page that looks like this. These learning objectives and key terms I put together by looking at the test and going back and listing everything you needed to know in order to do well on the exam. So you need to take a look at these and you need to fill them out and then later study them and have them with you along with my notes when you take the exam. I wanted to show you how they follow my notes very closely, and as a result you should use my notes to answer these questions. You should not be using the textbook or any other source. So let's go to my notes. When you go to the module and you click on the first item under notes and presentations in Unit 1, that is always going to be the notes that I provide for that unit. If I show you the presentation, this is what opens up. The methods of science, which are ways of doing research in that presentation. What I'd like you to look at now is what the notes say and how that is very closely tied to what's on the learning objectives. So here, the first or second slide is what are the goals of science. It explains the goals of science are to describe, explain, predict, and control. If you look at the learning objectives, you'll see that the first thing you need to know is the 4 goals of science. So those are the ones that I answered in my notes: to describe, explain, predict, and control. If you look at the third slide in my notes says the descriptive methods of science, and it defines them as the methods that only allow us to accomplish that first goal of science, which is description. So if you look at the learning objectives, you will see that the next thing it says is descriptive methods, and it wants you to define them. The next slide after that lists the 4 descriptive methods: naturalistic and lab observation, survey, and case study. And our learning objectives ask us to list the descriptive methods. So basically, I just wanted to show you how closely these learning objectives follow this presentation. And this is how you should answer the learning objectives. Make sure to have your learning objectives and your notes in front of you when you're going to take the exam. The notes are not just available in the presentation that I showed you. They're also available in a printable format, or you can just have them open in another tab as you take the exam. Okay, so do that for every unit. Second item is the learning objectives, and then a little further down, usually the third item, is going to be the notes that are available for that unit. And then further down, there'll be notes for the other chapter within that unit. I think that's pretty self-explanatory as you go through each of the items. Anyway, good luck. Please use this method. You'll do much better than if you don't. Thanks.